I will stack this under the befuddling category of things. Uh, Now, I was asked this a lot when I was in Vegas. A lot. Is Brandon Pirri headed back to the American League? And I kept saying, no. He's playing too well. As a general manager, you have two jobs. One is to protect your roster, but two is to make sure you have your best roster available. Brandon Pirri played incredible. Not only did he play incredible, but he was the reason that line was going a lot of the time. Now, Max Pacioretty's back. Okay, good. You can have Pirri on one line, Pacioretty on the other, and start scoring a lot of goals. Or you can send Pirri down. Pirri had 6 goals and 3 assists in 7 games this year. He had 3 goals in 2 games last year. Got sent back down then too. I'm not quite sure that I understand this, and I'm being completely honest. Because what Kelly McCrimmon says is, we made the decision to reassign Brandon Pirri, which allows us to protect our roster to the best of our ability and gives us some time to make further decisions. We're extremely pleased with how well Brandon played for us in his 7 games. We fully intend to bring him back when we can create room. He's not the guy who should be going. There are other guys on the roster, especially a team that has struggled at times to produce goals, who you could move out. I'm sure if George McPhee worked the phones, he could find a taker for 1 or 2 of those guys. And again, for me, I'm a big fan of play your best roster. So if Pirri's played his way in and he's got 9 points in 7 games, 6 of those points are goals, he belongs on the roster. So you give him a spot, and then somebody's got to go. And that's one of those tough decisions as a general manager. And it all reminds me of when McPhee said during the summer a teenager wouldn't crack the roster. Okay. I felt early on especially that their blue line was kind of hurt by not having a guy like a Brandstrom back there. I thought Brandstrom could have done them a lot of good on that blue line. I look at what's going on with Vegas, and I understand the team's been very good. At the time I'm recording this, they're up 1-0 on Anaheim after the first period. And they're playing a Vegas game. They're not allowing a lot of shots, and they're taking a ton of shots. Pacioretty has not been... Well, I mean, look at the numbers. Pacioretty has 10 goals. Pirri has 6. And Pirri's played 7 games. Do the math. Pacioretty's played more than 7 games. By a lot. It's strange to me that you bring in somebody who does that well with your roster and then you send him back to the American League. I get it. McPhee has a plan, and it is this is my roster. These are my guys, and clearly Brandon Pirri came up, and no matter what he did, he was going to get sent back to the minors, which has to suck. It has to be hard to get really, really motivated knowing you're going to get sent back down. And if he kept him and he played 10 games, he would have had to clear waivers to go down. Yeah, I don't like it. My point is this. Yes, you would lose Pirri on waivers, but that's because he's one of your best players. You play your best players. Especially when you're a team that's struggling to get goals at times, you play your best players. It seems really, really simple to me, I guess. Maybe McPhee doesn't see Pirri as one of his 12 best forwards. I don't know, man. The eyeball test when I was in Vegas against LA and Montreal, he was one of their best forwards. So I'm kind of confused because he doesn't have anything to prove in the American League level. He does very, very well down there. But I don't understand. I don't get it. To use he'd have to clear waivers if he plays 10 games. He's one of your best players. I don't get it. You don't hear, right now they're in the intermission with Arizona. You don't hear, Stepan's going to get to 10 games. Because Stepan is one of their best players, right? So that would sound ridiculous. To me, it sounds equally ridiculous to say, well, Brandon Pirri would reach 10 games, so they don't want to lose him on waivers. He's one of your best players. You shouldn't be waiving him in the first place. I could understand if it was 1 game or 2, but when you're up to a 2.5 week period, and he has helped to rejuvenate a scoring attack that at the time of Pacioretty's injury was kind of lacking, I don't know. I think and he's scoring at a better pace than Pacioretty and seems to have better chemistry with his line mates than does Max Pacioretty. There's a danger to this. And I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, maybe they went to him today and said, "Look, we're going to send you to the American League, but 2 weeks from now you're going to be back up." Maybe, but this has got to be somewhat frustrating. Has to be to produce like that and to be on a run like that, and not only that, but there's a danger in this. So you send him down to the American League, and you go, okay, well, he can percolate down there. We'll be fine. He can do his thing down there, and then we'll bring him back up, and we're ready for him. Well, what if he comes back up after a stint in the American League, or God forbid, gets hurt in the American League, but he comes back up from the American League and he can't reproduce that? What if after a few weeks break from playing with those line mates, he comes back and he can't reproduce that chemistry? What if they had lightning in a bottle and they just blew it? That's where I'm kind of bewildered at this, because I can't think of very many players that have put up 9 points in 7 games and been told, thanks for coming out, we're going to keep Brian Carpenter in the lineup. Bye. I don't get it. I really don't get it. This is the second year franchise that has some very good players, but they definitely have guys that you could trade out or you could waive, and it won't adversely affect the team. To me, dropping Pirri rather than keeping Pirri in the lineup and then adding Pacioretty, so you've got this extra scoring forward, and then maybe you can start really, putting some goals on the board. I just don't get it. With Brandon Pirri, they've gone on this really nice run. They've only lost one in regulation of their last 12 coming into tonight against Anaheim. And Pirri played a role in a large part of that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Vegas fans, of course. Non-Vegas fans as well. Do you think there's another team in the league that would do the same thing? That would have a guy come in, play 7 games, get 6 goals, and still send him to the minors? Say, thanks for coming. We're packing you up. I can't see it. Like, as I said, I'm watching the intermission of the Arizona game right now. I can't see Arizona getting a guy who scores 6 goals in 7 games and then saying, well, bye, and sending him to the minors. I think they'd probably be almost ready to retire his jersey at that point with the way they've been scoring. Oh, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.